you have the legal basis and authority to remove my ID from my pocket, I will not resist.
I do have legal basis, so go ahead.
I don't know if everybody could hear that. He asked me to take my ID out, and I kind of thought about it for a second, like, how do I answer this? You know, because he already threatened to throw me in jail for the weekend, and so I'm kind of like, I'm very nervous. I'm like, this guy is like, I'm walking this fine line, like I want to assert my rights here and not be pushed around or have him messing with me, but at the same time, now he's getting really assertive with me. And so I said, well, if you have the legal basis and authority to remove my ID from my wallet, I will not resist. So, of course, a little overwrought of an answer, and I wouldn't.
I was going to say, I don't know if you want to bust out the legalese every time. You might just want to be like, no.
Yeah. Now, a reminder to something Jim said earlier, don't try this in the state of Nevada or any of the 23 other states that have stop and identify laws where, provided that the officer has reasonable suspicion, which this one doesn't, with respect to me anyway.
Not now. They could have done it earlier.
Yeah. But anyhow.
I will not resist.
You have to remove it. Go ahead and remove your ID.
I refuse to.
Where is your ID?
This is so good for camera. I love it. I love it.
What's that?
You said it's great for the camera. I love it.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Back your hands together. Which pocket?
The left one. The other one.
I know. Do you have anything else on you I need to know about?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you.
Is it in a wallet or something, or is it free?
I've been giving you a lot of statements these last couple seconds.
There's your wallet. Go ahead and remove your ID from it. I can't take the wallet. If it's got money in it, you're going to accuse me of stealing it. So remove your ID from your wallet.
Thank you. So yeah, despite the fact that the camera's rolling, he's got, his colleague standing right freaking there, also despite the fact that he had no qualms about searching the incident to the arrest 5 minutes later, he's now telling me that I need to search myself for him, otherwise I'll accuse him of stealing stuff from me.
Well, no, he...
One wonders. Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, this is the cop half knowing the law, because he knows that, okay, if he's not under arrest yet, I can't actually go into his pocket. So I'm going to ask him to do it for me. But at the same time, he's like feeling up your pocket and stuff, which he's not supposed to do anyway, because he doesn't think you have a weapon. So again, he kind of half knows what's going on, but not really.
Yeah. So.
I will arrest you for obstructing if you don't. We can play this game as much as you can. I am making a legal request of you to remove your ID from your wallet. I have removed your wallet from your pocket per your request. I'm not going to dig into your wallet because I'm not comfortable with that given your demeanor. Now, if you don't want to remove your ID from your wallet, I will take that as a refusal to identify yourself. You are now informed of that. It's on recording, too. So if you refuse to give me your ID, which is now in your pocket, you refuse to give me your ID, then we will arrest you.
Don't talk right now.
You're sorry. Okay.
Go back over there with them right now.
I'm requesting your ID. Give me your ID. You refuse to give me your ID.
Hey, we can always take him down and you could go to the fingerprint section.
And that's all she wrote.
Found another one.
I'm the organizer of the ID.
So what were you eventually charged with exactly?
Yeah, so I'm just going to let the tape run with the volume turned down now. So yeah, the aftermath here is they charged me with obstructing, which is really broadly written law. I'm not going to play the lawyer with a lawyer actually sitting here, but I happen to know the Washington State obstruction statute by heart as a result of this experience, and that is any willful act which has the effect of hindering, interfering with, or delaying an officer in the discharge of his or her official duties is a misdemeanor. And so, to read that statute at face value, it's almost like you don't have rights. It's almost like, refuse to answer questions, that's a hindrance. Don't let them search your car, that's a delay. And that's exactly how the police department likes to interpret these statutes. And they have obstructing statutes like this in a lot of states. And, to a great degree, it's like Jim says, the cops, they kind of half know the law. They don't have the entire, American court system in their brains to sit there and untangle these conflicting statutes that have these inconvenient rights that kind of, work at different purposes.
Right, and That's not their jobs, but unfortunately it can have some really bad side effects. Obviously, like Eric went to jail for, how long were you in jail for?
I was only held for about 2 hours.
Oh, okay. But I mean, you could have been in there. I mean, who cares? I wouldn't want to be in jail for 2 hours. I wouldn't want to be in jail for a couple minutes.
It kind of screws up your Friday night.
Yeah. And I mean, did you bail yourself out or did they release you?
They released me.
Hey, so at least they're nice enough to do that. But I mean, a lot of people can't get released. A lot of people can't afford to bail out, and it's not their job to know exactly what the law is. That's my job. That's the court's job. That's other people's jobs. But it can take several months of sitting in jail before you go to a trial or have a hearing that decides what the law is and whether what you were doing was right or wrong. So that takes a long time, and it's a pain in the ass. And so it would be nice if the police were a little more informed on the law instead of just construing everything in their favor.
Funny you put it that way.
Oh.
So about informing the police of the law, I guess since there's time,
sure.
I'll talk a little bit about the aftermath of the experience. So the first thing I did is I went home and I located the Washington State case that cleared up the ambiguity of the situation all the way back in 1982. Washington State Supreme Court, in a case called State v. White, said that, quote, a detainee's refusal to disclose his name, address, and other information cannot be the basis of an arrest. And so I took the case citation and I emailed it to the Seattle Police Department's Office of Professional Accountability 10 days after the incident and said, hey, you guys have tape, you've got the facts, here's the law, don't be arresting people for this. And the Seattle Police Department took my opinion into due consideration and decided to go ahead and charge me with the crime of obstructing. So they're like, who cares what the law says? And that's when the situation got really, really actually kind of frightening. Because, at the time of my arrest, emotionally I was okay. I'm kind of like, all right, well, this is a fun little civics experiment, isn't it? Sitting in handcuffs, riding around in the cop car, fairly comfortable in the knowledge that I'm innocent. Except that then when it's time to actually review the facts and the law, the system started to go sideways on me, and now I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually being charged with a crime. This is now on my record. They almost didn't let me into Canada when I tried to go up for CanSec. Then of course there was the whole thing of like, crap, what if I'm convicted? There goes my career. They offered me a deal. They would drop the charges if I did a bunch of community service.
I was going to say, other people were arrested that night too. You weren't the only one who's arrested.
Yeah.
There was 2 other people, right?
Yes. I'll come back. So yeah, also, let's go down that road for a second. So yeah, 2 other people were arrested. One more for obstructing. That was a totally bogus arrest as well. Allegedly, the guy walked away from an officer after being ordered to stop, despite the fact that they'd already arrested somebody else for the assault. And that somebody else who they arrested for the assault was not, as the complainant described, a bit thicker about his height, wearing a stocking cap and white. Actually, do you mind being singled out? Where are you, dude?
It's the real killer.
So, no, actually, it's actually. There he is.
Sorry.
Yeah, here's Hikari, who had the extreme unpleasant experience of being arrested for assault with a Nerf ball. He also got charged, and I'm sure it wasn't any more fun for him than it was for me. His case was dismissed as well when basically the half dozen people who were with him the whole entire time informed his lawyer that we didn't see a damn thing. And anyway, it was a Nerf ball. So at that point, the city decided to drop his case. City pressed my case all the way to the brink of trial. We told the city attorney's office repeatedly about the law, and they just kept ignoring it and ignoring it and ignoring it until finally the morning of the first contested hearing, which is when you actually go and get in front of a judge and argue something. And that's when the city attorney said, just kidding, dropping the case. I was out like...
But I said, but you didn't drop the case. They dropped the case.
Yes. So at that point, I was out several $1,000s for my attorney's fees. And so my attitude at the time about the decision to exercise my civil rights was a somewhat doubtful one. I was like, well, that was a very expensive learning experience. But like I said, later on, I asked for the tape. I started thinking about suing the cops. I am suing the cops for false arrest and various other claims. That case, it's going. I actually, I guess it bears mentioning, just this week settled a related case for their failure to turn over the tapes. And the experience at this point has been educational and expensive for them. So, yeah. And I think on that note, I guess now's about the time to turn it over to questions.
And well, before we do that, do you want to hit a golf ball into the audience?
Yeah.
I think you should. All right, here. This time he won't get in any trouble for hitting the golf ball. All right, heads up, fools.
You gotta watch the backswing, by the way. I'm actually surprised.
No. Oh, come on. Where is it?
It's under the stage, man. It's under the stage.
Put your back into it. Yeah. Clearly it wasn't him. My green. Heads up. Who got it? Come on down. All right, questions. We have like 5 minutes for questions.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody?
Come.
Sorry.
Not your turn, Junk.
Okay. Go ahead, though.
So these stuff that identify us, am I required to identify myself, or am I required to present identification?
That is true. The question was, are you required to provide identification if there's a stop and identify law, or identify yourself? There's no requirement in the U.S., except Arizona, for you to carry your papers on you. So you have to identify yourself. Give them probably your name and your birth date. If you lie, you will be in trouble. That is a crime at that point. So don't try to do shenanigans if they ask you. If they have a right to ask you, you need to tell them the truth.
I was talking recently about refusal to actually get my saying it was a really interesting YouTube video I found that was like 2 hours worth, an hour's worth of footage by a guy that says never, never, ever, ever under any circumstance talk to police. Because everything that you say they will try to twist to use against you somehow. And I don't remember the video. I don't think that they covered it, but there was some tension about whether if a cop approaches you and asks you to divulge information, whether you just say nothing or actually tell them I am exercising my right to not say anything.
Oh, all right. So the short version of the question is, if a cop approaches you to ask you a question, should you just say nothing, or should you say I'm exercising my right not to talk to you? I would just say somewhere in between. I would say, politely say, I'm not going to answer the question. I have somewhere else to be. I'm walking away. See you later. If he wants to stop you and try to escalate it at that point, then he's probably going to have some explaining to do, depending on the state. All right, Junk is going to die if we don't answer the question. What?
This isn't about the golf ball incident. I have a hypothetical situation that never happened. Now,
Uh-oh.
say you're in a bathroom. You want to get in a bathroom, which is awesome, so this applies. Say you're in a bathroom and you finish whatever you're doing and you find a curtain and there's a ladder up at the top. There's a door and the door doesn't have any markings and it's not locked. It doesn't
Yes.
say do not enter or snap open.
Right.
You go up to this ladder and find a room. And you just happen to bring 20 or so of your friends with you. In Nevada,
Yes.
the laws, you may
Yes.
be at a hotel.
All right. So the question is, the question is, if you
Trespassing at that point, hypothetically speaking.
no, because in Nevada there's a law that you have to post the trespass notice on the place first. So yes, if you manage to accidentally go on the roof of the Riviera, they can kick you off the property.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying hypothetically, they can certainly eject you from the property because they don't have to let you be here. But no, that's not trespassing. Anyway.
Okay, let's go the yellow shirt and then the gray shirt.
Thanks.
So if I'm taken at some point into an interrogation room, is there some golden time limit that I have to outlast them on?
Question is, if you're in an interrogation room, you've been arrested at that point, is there some golden time limit before they have to stop questioning you? The answer is no, not really. However, the longer it takes, the more likely a court's going to say that's not cool.